my friends, Jacob is here and spring is here too, and I'm so excited that each and every one of you pressed play on that little button, and I want to thank every one of you who have subscribed. If you haven't, please do and check the bell. Listen, this video, a lot of people are giving me a hard time. I had some people that were going a little bit bananas over the fact that I haven't done a follow-up video on the big NASA announcement. I did a video leading up to it because I had a feeling that, they just might announce Planet 9, Planet X, Ergopolis, Nibiru, whatever it goes by, whatever you want to call it. And I didn't do a follow-up video for a very important reason, because I saw something. I saw a connection between their Trappist system, or as I like to call it, it's a trap, because there's more to this system and there's more to this story than NASA is letting on. And by the end of this video, you're going to see how everything is connected, because a lot of those pieces of the puzzle that I've been waiting for and I've been holding off on, a lot of those breadcrumbs that weren't revealed to me yet, well, they were just put in front of me, and I've been picking them up and putting the pieces together, and just last night, that final piece of the puzzle came together. And this is going to, I was talking to a friend of mine, my friend Magi, I was talking to him, and I was telling him on the phone, I was saying, I have a feeling that all of this is linked together. There's a reason I've been doing videos on CERN. There's a reason I've been doing videos on the Mandela effect, on Nibiru. There's a reason why I've been talking about all of this, but I haven't talked about the Hopi prophecy. I'm going to get into that because I have been studying it rigorously over the last couple of months or so. And it may indeed be the final piece of the puzzle. And we're going to see how it all ties together. Yes, indeed. Mandela, Nibiru, it's all connected. And when you get done with this show, you're going to agree with me. So buckle up, people, because it's all coming together and it is on! Now, if you all know me by now, and I think a lot of you do, and if you're new, get to know me, check out some of the videos here. You know that I'm a man of great faith, and I do rely on, more than just, contemporary logic and what the mainstream media tells us and what is revealed in the news. I do a lot of research, and when I get that little feeling inside that there's more, and I need to knock on that door and find out what's behind it, I do. And so months and months ago, when I began sharing on the topic of Nibiru, the topic of Planet X, there wasn't a lot of media coverage surrounding it. I did find it odd that after I started talking about it and after I started releasing these videos, now look, I'm not going to get into the ins and outs of Nibiru today. I'm not going to explain it all to you. I have a playlist, and there are a lot of other great channels that deal with this. Please go to the Nibiru playlist and it'll get you caught up. But today's for those people that know already. And for those that don't, there's going to be a lot of amazing information that's going to come your way that's going to get you very interested in the topic, because it affects each and every one of us. So when NASA just recently came out and revealed that there's a wonderful system, right, just outside of our solar system called the Trappist system. Man, did bells go off with inside me, because I knew there was more to it than that. Now look, Planet X is not a fairy tale anymore, okay? Astronomers have warned us about this for many, many years. Prophecies have been written about it. This story of the Anunnaki and Nibiru, it has been documented in many, many ancient texts. The Mesopotamian gods, Sumerian tablets, and even, yes, the Bible. They talk about the Nephilim. And those, as Sitchin says, those who from heaven came, the Anunnaki, I'm going to get into all of that today, and I'm just kind of excited, so I'm kind of jumping around a little bit, but I want you to follow me, okay? Because just recently, these astrophysicists and researchers like Konstantin Batgin, I think that's the way you pronounce his name, and Mike Brown, they've proven the existence of Planet 9, Planet X, and Nibiru Hookopolis through mathematical equations and simulations, and also the how the effects on the planets in our solar system and the alignment, and actually how even our the axis of the poles have been shifted. Which is why I also have done a video about how there's a 13th astrological sign. I did this in one of my videos on the Mandela effect in days past. Needless to say, it's not a fairy tale. This is real. Retired professor of astrophysics, Daniel Whitmire, who he came to fame back in the 80s when his new theory about the extinction of the dinosaurs became front page of Time magazine. And guess what that theory was about? It was about Nibiru and how it comes around every, couple of million years, 27 million years or so. And that when it enters that Kuiper belt, it repulses all of these asteroids and all of this, nonsense towards us. And that's what ended up killing the dinosaurs. So these Caltech findings have given a lot of credibility to Whitmire's theory, which is going to scare a lot of people. But this is tied together to this Hopi prophecy, and it's tied together of other things too. And as you know me, I'm not one that's going to stress this stuff because I know things are going to change, but I think ultimately they're going to change for the better. I want to get into this though because the search for Nibiru and Planet 9 has taken a huge leap forward. Now, my last video about NASA's coming announcement, I talked about how NASA had started this website called Zoo Universe, where basically stargazers everywhere could, get online and use their wide field infrared telescope and kind of just search, our solar system to try to track it down. The question is, why are they doing that? Because really, is it about finding this, wonderful, huge system? Or is it about something else? I think it's about something else. I think that they already have found the Nibiru system, and I this is all just a feeling that I have. It's a trap system, right? The Trappist 1 system of 7 planets that are orbiting a cool dwarf star, right? Well, guess what? Turns out, so does Nibiru. Don't you think that it is odd that you have 7 planets, some of them Earth-like, that could contain life like us, that are orbiting around the very same dwarf star that Nibiru is said to orbit around? Don't you think that it is odd that, if there were a race of, giants called the Anunnaki, if you believe in that, if you don't, it's, it is what it is. I'm just putting this out there, people. But there are many that have said that, our DNA has been altered. I'm not saying they created us and gave us life, but that our genome was edited and altered. And we know that the technology is there today, which is spooky. So who's to say that an ancient alien race didn't come here, I don't know how many hundreds of thousands, if not millions of years ago, to do the same? Well, what if it's happening? And what if it is on its way? And what if they're really asking people to get to this wide field infrared telescope and search the stars to see if anything else is coming our way? What if the Trappist system, right? It's a trap. What if it is the Nibiru system and it's coming towards us right now? And that's why everybody's jumping on the bandwagon. Search the sky. And that's why NASA is going crazy, because they're worried about losing funding for their asteroid redirect mission, which I'm going to get into, because they have this one asteroid that they're going to go to called Didymus, which is there's a huge tie-in to this Hopi prophecy. It's going to blow your mind. I'm going to get to that. But first, I want to talk about the latest to jump on board with the checking out the stars. It is perhaps the most interesting, to say the least, the Australian National University. Okay, they just launched a similar search for Nibiru, stating with the belief that it is already within our solar system, no longer outside or no longer on the edge, but within our solar system. So they want everybody to jump on board and find it. That it's all a cover story. I think that the reason why we have people on this side of the globe and on this side of the globe now searching the sky to make sure nothing's coming our way, I think it's because something is coming our way, and a lot of it. And this is what's really kooky, right? Do you know what the name of the program is? This Australian program. Do you know what it is? It's called ANU. Now, what's freaky about all of this, I don't know if you know anything about the mythology of the Anunnaki, but Anu is the sky god. Anu is the leader of the Anunnaki race, basically the father of them all. It's the god that they worship, Anu. So it's the Anu search and the search of Anu. And I just find a really, really interesting coincidence there, don't you? When two lines come together. I mean, out of all the names that could be used, they go with Anu. If you don't think it's odd that the sky god, the Mesopotamian god, Anu, is leading the search for Planet 9, I don't know what to tell you, but this is just one little teeny coincidence that I have found as I have gone down this road. Another interesting coincidence I want to talk to you about is when NASA published their paper, their big paper that everybody was excited about, the photo that they used to, the artist illustration of the landscape of this planet, this Trappist system. Well, take a look at it. Now, what struck me as odd is when I saw this, I immediately thought of a very freaky video called My Pet Goat. And there's this final scene in My Pet Goat where, the Illuminati Jesus is like kind of riding his Egyptian little sled, and he's kind of bobbing around, right? And he's coming through, and as the comets are hitting the earth and destroying stuff, right? There's this final tableau, this final scene, this beautiful picture where you see, this huge sun and you see other planets, which is, I think, quite interesting, considering the two photos. I I mean, they're not identical, but my goodness, if there is not a striking coincidental similarity. Physicist Brad Tucker is leading the project that's being launched by Brian Cox during a BBC stargazing live broadcast from the Anu Sliding Spring Observatory. And he says, and I quote, "We have the potential to find a new planet in our solar system that no one has ever seen in our 2 million year history," said Dr. Tucker from the Anu Research School of Astronomy and Astrophysics. Dr. Tucker said that he had long discussed the likelihood of such a event and such a planet within such an elliptical orbit, but to find one would be actually pretty cool. You know, Planet X is predicted to be a super Earth, he says, about 10 times the mass. Sound familiar, people? Yeah, but we're crazy, right? Now, another thing that I find very interesting about the Trappist system, I'm going to keep going back to the "it's a trap," right? Is that it was found in the Aquarius constellation. It's just all of this interesting stuff coming together. You know, all of it. I know that, this may be a leap, but I'm a guy that likes to take a leap of faith. And it is kind of cool, don't you think? You know, all these little things start to add up, and I haven't even gotten to the biggest of them yet. Okay, so recently I started researching the Hopi or Hopi prophecy, and you got to remember, it's not really a prophecy more than it is kind of a story that is passed down. Now, I want to explain this. There's a reason that you have a biblical telling of an event that is very similar to a Mesopotamian telling of that event, which is very similar to a Hebrew telling of that event, which is very similar to a Mayan telling of that. There's a reason why, there's a great flood story in all of these. There's a reason why a great huge star or comet or asteroid or wormwood, if you will, is mentioned in all of them. And over time, stories are passed down from generation to generation to generation to generation, especially as a warning. And what they do is they tell it as a story. So this Hopi prophecy is told very much like a story. It uses planetary bodies, celestial bodies, and it calls them spiritual bodies, and perhaps they may be. And so when I was digging into it, I knew that there was a connection somewhere. I had one of my viewers had reached out to me, and I emailed them, and they said, "You must be a dreamer." And I had responded back, and I had said that I had this crazy dream where there was a red dragon and there was a blue dragon, and I had just beheaded a red dragon, and I did it very easily. And now that there was a blue dragon, and it was in this university hallway, and it was sleeping, and I was about to do the same. So now when I emailed her this, she said, "Oh my goodness, that is the blue Kachina and the red Kachina, and it's talking of Nibiru and Sirius." And I had already been looking into the Hopi prophecy, and so I thought that it was odd, all the coincidence of it all. But that's a total sidebar. So let me get into it for you, because there is a real connection to this prophecy, this story that is passed down, and the Mandela effect, and Nibiru, and CERN, and it's all kind of connected, which is so bizarre to me. And when you hear this prophecy read out loud, you start to see it, and you start to get it. Well, the prophecy of the blue and red Kachina, as well as the twin celestial bodies, okay, that visit, and the white buffalo, which people have said it was already born, I guess, back in 2012. But they call Nibiru the great purifier, and it's really about when the system comes around again. It's basically the end. It's kind of a reset button, and that once the blue star Kachina is found in the sky, well, that's kind of the beginning, right? And it gives man, thousands of years or whatever to basically get it right, to go back to the old ways, go back to that path of peace that I'm always talking about, to a place of peace and unity and love and understanding. And so let's start off with the Hopi prophecy. Now, the following are excerpts from The Last Cry. It's a book written, it's about the Native American prophecies and tales of end times by Dr. Robert Ghostwolf, okay? So I'm just going to read some of this to you. It was told to me the blue Kachina would start to be seen at the dances and would make his appearance known to the children in the plaza during the night dance. This event would tell us that the end times are very near. Then the blue star Kachina would physically appear in our heavens, which would mean that we were in our end times. And let me just point that out. We're always in our end times, people, right? From the moment we've come here, we begin our end times on this plane of existence. It doesn't mean that that's the end. This is not something to be frightened of as I read more. In the final days, we will look up in our heavens and we will witness the return of two brothers, twins. Who helped create this world in its birthing time. In the final days, the blue star Kachina will come to be with his nephews and will return the earth to its natural rotation, which is counterclockwise. The rotation of the earth has been manipulated by these benevolent, not so benevolent star beings. The twins will be seen in our northwestern skies. They will come and visit to see who still remembered the original teachings. They will then bring many of their star family with them in the final days. I want to take a second and pause here and talk about those twins, okay, that visit, these twin celestial bodies, right? Well, NASA, I did a video on this. Check it out, the NASA Asteroid redirect mission. Just recently, they really got bonkers about finding a way to protect us against, incoming comets, incoming asteroids, incoming, fireballs. So they decided what they were going to do was they were going to send, a mission up there to basically attach itself to an asteroid and bang it off course, get it off course. Now, here's where it gets weird. The asteroid that they have chosen, it's a rather large one too. The DART's mission, by the way, it's set to launch in 2021. So, for all these people that are saying that it's like, this is around the corner, I've been saying from day one, this isn't going to happen like this, people. It's going to happen. We have time to get our houses in orders. We have time to make preparations. And I don't mean preparations like, get yourself a fallout shelter. If you want to do that, go ahead. But I mean like just getting to a place of, knowing where you are spiritually and knowing that there is more and having better relationships with your friends and family and going back to a simpler time, a time when we're united and when we're one. So, and that's what this Hopi prophecy is all about. It's, that this countdown is to remind us that it's time for us to do that. And we do have time because, if they're just planning in 2020 to do this, then the calculations must already be out there. So it's not going to happen overnight. Okay? I know a lot of people are going to disagree and they want to say that the end is near in a week or so. I disagree completely. Didymus came about 4.5 million miles from Earth at its closest approach. Pretty close. DART will land on Didymus's moon, Diddy Moon, for the purpose of experimenting. And then trying to obviously knock it off course. I think that happens in 2030. Now, here's the interesting thing. The twin celestial bodies that are heading our way, according to the Hopi prophecy, Well, do you know what Didymus means? It means twin. Now, don't you think that that's another little strange coincidence that you have these, these twins heading towards us? These twins. Now, remember the Hopi prophecy said the twins were instrumental in helping seed life along. Now, don't you remember just recently they said that life probably came from an asteroid? Now, I'm not saying that God does not exist for those people that say, oh, this is baloney. Look, I know for a fact there is a creator in charge of it all. But who's to say how creation came to be? And I am not one to discount anything like this, but I do find it quite odd. I do find it quite odd that this prophecy is about these twins that come back that had a part in helping life along on this planet. And that right now NASA is landing on an asteroid that they said probably helped start life on the planet, from what they found, because they found the origins of life. And they felt that maybe an asteroid hit it and then that life then took off. So that's the theory, right? But don't you find it strange that the name of the asteroid they're going to knock off course is called Didymus? Thomas means Didymus, means twin. Now this is where it gets really, really weird, okay? So the return of the blue star Kachina, it sets off an alarm, a time clock, okay? And not far behind these twins, not far behind Didymus, okay? We're going to find the red star Kachina, the purifier. That's Nibiru, people. And it is on its way. And it's, like I said, it's not going to happen tomorrow, and it's not going to crash into us. That's not an issue. But as it comes towards us, everything's going to change, right? Everything's going to change in a big way. And the prophecy talks about that. Now listen to the changes. Now, this is where the Mandela effect is concerned. I'm going to continue to read on. Those who return to the ways given to us, to the original teachers, and live a natural way of life will not be touched by the coming purifier. Once again, if you have faith and you live the right way, it's not going to stress you out. You're not got nothing to worry about. They'll survive and they'll build the new world. Wouldn't that be a beautiful thing, right? All the wicked, horrible people, if they don't repent, they don't turn around, they don't decide that it's better to build than to tear down, well, maybe they'll just be gone. That's not such a bad thing in the grand scheme of things. They'll probably get another chance to do it right. Now, in this time, many will appear to have lost their souls. Okay? So intense will the nature of these changes be in the world and all around that people will literally start to think they're going insane. They will disappear just as hollow vessels for anything to use. Life will be so bad in the cities that many will choose to leave the plane, some in whole groups. Only those who return to the old ways will find peace of mind. For in the earth, we shall find relief from the madness that will be around us. It'll be a very hard time for women and for children, for they will be shunned. After the arrival of the twins, there will be those who walk in body that are not from this reality. Now, check this out. For many gateways that once protected us will be opened. Can anybody say Gothard Tunnel? Do you remember the spooky? I did a video on that as well, where all the heads of state and all the important people, Merkel from Germany, the president of France, the Italian prime minister, all of these important people standing and giving an ovation to, basically Baphomet and the birth of the Antichrist. And at the end, you see them all, their big heads which is a representation of their, they're so important and their inflated ego, bowing to time, the reversal of time, and bowing to a gateway being opened where spirits fly out. This is some spooky, spooky tunnel opening. If you get a chance, check it out. But it ties right in, And I want to also touch on the fact that I just stumbled upon a video about a 13-year-old genius physicist. This kid is just, I couldn't get away from watching him speak, and I went and I looked him up. Now he's basically, they're calling him the next Tesla. He's invented, like from scraps around the yard, he invented a way to create free energy. This guy, this smart 13-year-old boy who the entire world is heralding as the next greatest mind, well, he's saying without a shadow of a doubt that the Mandela effect is real, and he's saying that he thinks CERN had something to do with it. And why did they have something to do with it? Could it be that they are trying to open dimensions because of this event? You see, I put that theory out months ago where I said perhaps, CERN's actually doing this because they're trying to protect us. They're trying to, keep the inevitable from happening. Well, we know, and if you watch this channel enough times, you know that many say that there are an infinite amount of dimensions, an infinite amount of realities. As I'm speaking, there's an infinite amount of worlds and realities that branch off as I speak, and that we can open up and we can merge with them and things will change, which is why we see all the things happening with this Mandela effect, which everybody's saying is quite a joke. Not quite a joke now anymore, especially since the Hopi prophecy talks about this, talks about the opening of dimensions and gates and things being different and things being so insane and weird that people literally think they're going insane. Oh man, the day we are living in is an interesting one, and I for one am so excited to be here at this point in time with all of you. Now I know this video was probably a little bit longer than most, and I covered on a lot, I hit a lot of topics, but there's a reason, and there's one thing that I always want to end my videos on, and that is hope. All of this is happening for a very good reason, and I know that each and every one of you have nothing to worry about, especially if you're setting your house right and you're putting the right foot forward. Do the right thing and you will have a good result. If you plant good seeds, you're going to get a great harvest. And I believe that we are all uniquely linked to everything that goes down. So, get excited, people, because I certainly am. Because it is coming, but it's not coming next week. It's not coming this year, but it is coming. And the time, it's a ticking. I love you all, and I will talk to you next week. Don't forget to subscribe. Please do remember every Tuesday and Wednesday. By Wednesday latest, a new video will be up there. And I just want to thank you all for being a part of my life. I love you, and I'll talk to you soon.